You're probably stuck on the wrong questions inside of your business. You're asking yourself, how do I build the perfect funnel? How do I make people DM me? How do I sell out my masterclass? But let me stop you right there. After signing over 4,400 high ticket clients, I can tell you this, the how isn't your problem. You know all of the tools to build your business. It never was this issue. The real question is who. Who are you speaking to? Who are you becoming? And who are you learning from? Because high-level clients aren't waiting for the perfect landing page or a call to action or even something inside of your captions. They're already sold on you. This is the shift that gets you to 10K, 20K, and even 100K months consistently. And in this episode, I'm going to show you that what you already know is enough to build your business far past 30K. I'll also share what real high-level coaches focus on to keep their business growing month over month. So right now as a coach, when you're looking inside of your business, you're always focused on the how. And most coaches focus on the same level of how. It's really how they can maximize their leads, how they can maximize sales, and how they can continue to increase their nurture. And listen, the how is important. You do need to know all of the systems that run inside your business. You need to understand how to create a landing page. You need to know how to make an offer that sells itself. You need to understand how to create a masterclass, how to get people to DM you. That all comes down to making sure that you're speaking to the right person, refining your message, having a good offer. All of that stuff you're going to be able to build from 0 to 10K. And once you hit that 10K a month, you have an offer that works. You know how to create content to speak to your client. You know how to be able to create one landing page, and one landing page can be reproduced and replicated across all of your landing pages. So at this point, what's going to scale you past this 30K a month kind of ceiling that you have is not learning more of the how. Truthfully, high ticket clients really don't care about the how. When I look at all of my high level clients, a lot of people who are high ticket clients who operate on a really high level to work with you as a coach, these are people who are self-led. These are going to be the people who are going to look for you and look on how to work with you, regardless of whether or not you have a call to action. These are the people who won't need 15 emails to reach out and say, hey, look, I want to work with your program. They're just going to jump inside of your containers, whatever's available. They're not going to be worried about whether or not you have spelling mistakes in your emails. They don't really care whether or not you've sent a specific offer to them 5 or 8 times. They don't really care if you give them a Stripe link to sign up. If they're bought in on who you are and your alignment inside of your message is proper, your offer is a good offer, all of that is going to sell itself. So at some point, the how stops working for you inside of a coach because there's nothing that you can do differently with the how. The how is really about learning how to do those things initially and then just refining the process so you're doing it consistently across your businesses. Great coaches use the same basic tools, but they're consistent with them. For every offer, they have a landing page. For every masterclass, there's a form, and the form goes through the same process. They have an application process. They work to fill an offer every single month, and they're not selling 15 to 20 different things to confuse their audience. That's just simple business practice. At some point inside of your business, the thing that's going to prevent you from moving forward is going to be the who. Because as we start to look at what our high-level clients are attracted to, is we start to look and say, well, what does a high-ticket client want from me to be able to embody a coach? They want to be sold on who you are. They want to know that the person that they're working with inside of a coaching container is someone that's making big moves every day, is someone that's getting excited and fired up about their business. It's someone who's showing up consistently inside of their socials, inside of the emails, inside of the masterclasses, the live trainings. They want to see someone who's being bold, who's being big, who's being visible, and who's showing up so much that they want to start to operate like you. They're looking for you to live the life that they want to live so you can be the leader in your space and be the leader from them. So when we're looking at this, you don't need more how as a coach, you need more who. And I'm going to go through the who places in which you can look. The first who is who are you speaking to in your content? If we want to attract more higher level clients, it's not enough for us to speak to the basics of the journey. It's not enough for us to speak to the tips and the tools and to always talk to someone who's struggling or always talking to someone who's failed a bunch of times. High-level clients don't resonate with this anymore. If you want to start getting more clients, you need to really focus on who you are speaking to inside of your content. We want to speak to the person who's already doing the work, who's tried 3 or 4 times, who's been in several coaching containers, so they value coaching, but who's looking for a transformation far beyond the initial result. So if your coaching program is about helping them lose 15 pounds, that's a very basic problem. And so if all you're speaking about are the people who can't lose weight, if all you're speaking about are the people who have a hard time with food, you're going to get basic level people who don't really want to invest that much and who aren't going to commit to a long-term journey of 6 months, 8 months, or 12 months. It's about changing your content to speak to the person who's invested inside of your coaching for past a year. You want to speak to the high-level person who gets fired up for the after the 15 pounds. The person who's going to say, well, once I get these 15 pounds down, what's next for me? What else can I work on? Can I work on my relationships? Can I work with my spirituality? Can I work on my mindset? And this is about shifting your content to only speak to the highest level person. Because when you do that, all of the leads inside of your landing pages, all of the leads inside of your nurture sequences, all of the leads who go through your masterclasses are going to start to become higher quality people. When they get higher quality, you get more signups, you get more close rates, you get more people reaching out to you in the DMs. So we focus more on who we're speaking to, and that's going to change all of the how that we're doing already. The second who is who should you connect with for aligned audiences. This is so important, especially if you're building a business and you don't have the lead flow that you want through organic or through ads. There are coaches, there are practitioners, there are professionals who already have the audience that you're looking for. They're already working with a client base that you can help, but they don't do what you do. So why not partner with them? Why not look for an aligned audience? Why not look for the opportunity to do a joint masterclass, to do a joint seminar, to bring 2 audiences together, to maximize your visibility, but also start to show yourself to a bunch of new leads with a high level of trust built in. Oftentimes, we're always looking at how can I do this by myself, when instead we should be looking at who should I connect with. When I first built my hormone coaching business, a lot of my hormone company was built on networking. It was built on me showing up 2 to 3 times a week, spending about 8 hours out of the week networking with professionals, partnering with physiotherapists, partnering up with naturopathic doctors, partnering up with dietitians, partnering up with personal trainers. And when I did that, I started to see an increase in my leads because these people were bringing people who were already invested in the journey of health and fitness. And these were people that I didn't have to work to continue to nurture. I didn't have to put out more offers. I could have just stayed with the offer I had. I didn't have to create special landing pages or multiple nurture sequences. All I had to do was build the relationship with the practitioner, and that practitioner got me connected with more leads. So start asking yourself, well, who are the people that I can connect with? And there are people that you can connect with. You can hop on the podcast of another professional. You can do a masterclass or a seminar for someone else who's aligned inside of your business or who's working with your people. You can even do a joint speaking engagement where maybe you bring 4 or 5 professionals together and do an event, and that would really pump you up as an authority. You have a lot of availability for this, but you haven't looked at whether or not there's any aligned audiences for you. The next 2 is who you're being in your life right now. When I spoke earlier about working with high-level clients want to see you live the life that they want to live. That's why inside of my business, I'm taking big moves every single day. Lorna and I did a retreat last week. It was incredible. We went to Florida. We spent almost 8 months working on this event. The year before, I did 2 retreats. I did my Meant to Grow, and I did the retreat in September. All of these things are things in which I'm showing all of the coaches I work with, here's what you can do do with your business. Here's how big you can grow and scale. Here's how you can deliver and serve to your clients in another way. And that excites the coaches that I work with because they were thinking about doing retreats. They wanted to continue to grow their businesses. But outside of the retreats, I'm writing a book this year, doing something I've never done, going out of my comfort zone and creating something to share a message long term. Again, when I step into that power, when I show coaches that I'm working with, hey, here's how you can keep showing up at a higher level, it starts to make them expand. And you guys as coaches who are like, yeah, you know what? I feel the expansion. I feel myself growing inside of my business every day. I'm waking up every day feeling excited, fulfilled. I'm looking forward to what's next inside of my business. That's the level of expansion you can continue to feel every single day. So for your clients, are you being the person who is their kind of look up to? Are you being the person that they want to follow every single day? If you're not, my question is, why not? If you want people to hire you because you want to be their mentor, you need to be a reason for them to want to hire you. You need to be that person that when they're looking at you, they're like, I really want this person to be in my life. I want to be able to have weekly calls where I'm excited every single day. I want this person to contribute to my life so my relationship can grow, so my health can grow. And that only happens when you start showing up at a really high level. So who are you being? Are you playing small? Are you only posting your offer a couple of times a week? Are you playing small? You're not telling people what you have for sale. You're not showing up daily on your socials. You're not appearing at networking events. You're not putting free value out there. If you are playing small, this is your opportunity to grow and show up with who you know you can actually be. The final who is, who are you learning from to help grow your business? The mentor that you partner with to grow your business is so important. And I have mentors on many different levels. I have a mentor for my mindset, and I'm also investing with him. He helps me with my money as well too. I have a mentor right now that's working me to help grow this YouTube channel. I have a mentor that's helping me speak towards TEDx. And each and every single one of these mentors is helping me grow, not by showing me the how, but by helping me stay in a different level of magnetic energy. I don't need to know the how. Truthfully, I know how to be able to create a YouTube episode, but it's showing up with the level of energy that's going to attract an audience. It's saying the right things and being super clear with my messaging so that way the person watching the video goes, this was 25 minutes of straight value. This wasn't a 35-minute video that could have been a 10-minute video with a bunch of ads and stuff. It's about really helping me understand how to provide value. These coaches help show me how I can continue to push the boundaries of who I am. They call me out when I'm playing small, and they help me stay magnetic every single day. So when I'm creating content, it's something that people resonate with. So when I put out an offer out there, it's something that people want to be a part of. So when I do an event or a retreat, people want to spend the time with me because they're like, I want to be around this person. When I learn and when I spend time with a mentor inside of my business, it's really about helping me stay in that magnetic energy. So who are you learning from to help grow your business? Are you learning from someone who's just showing you the how? Here's how to create another landing page. Here's how to create another call to action. What you're going to find is if you've been in multiple coaching containers, if you've worked with multiple coaches who just keep sharing the how with you, what you'll find is you go into the program, you don't really learn any new tools. And sure, there might be a different way to do a landing page or a different way to create a call to action, but your business doesn't grow, and neither do you. You're halfway through the program and you're saying to yourself, yeah, you know what? I've already heard this before. Yeah, I already know this. And yes, I know sometimes you just need a daily reminder of like, these are the daily non-negotiables you need to apply, but that's not enough to grow your business. Who you are learning from should be a person that keeps you expanding, should be a person who tests your boundaries, should be a person who calls you out, who's not afraid to say, why are you focused on all of this BS? Just put your freaking offer out there. Just do that one program that you're hesitating on putting out there. You want to work with the person who's going to be all in on you, who's going to be a partner inside of your business. Like when I'm working with coaches inside of Coach to Coach, it's not just we hop on a call and I'm like, hey, cool, let's overview your copy. No, the conversations really aren't that. The conversations inside of our one-on-one calls is really like, what's preventing you from showing up right now? Where do you feel like you're stuck? Why are you hesitating in sharing this message? How can you continue to say your message unapologetically so when you show up on socials, people are excited and it is polarizing? It is something that either makes them DM you or makes you leave. And that's what the conversations are. And so what happens is it's me and this other person combining together to make sure that the coaching containers, everything from when they first see you all the way to when they join, is something that is in 100% alignment with you. And yeah, we work on the landing pages. Yes, we work on the copy, but that stuff is all stuff that's in addition to the real work, which is helping you get out of your own way and help you show up as the real person to who you know you can be. Who you are learning from is probably the biggest who out of all of these, and then it's who are you are being. Because inside of life, it's being, thinking, planning, and then acting. If all of the time you're just acting because you're like, I just have to keep taking struggled action to make this work. If all the time you're planning and you're thinking, what am I going to do? Is this right for me? You spend a lot of time in hesitation land and you stay on the struggle bus. A lot of coaches love to live this life on the struggle bus where they hop on and off with different mentors doing the same path over and over again. And this is where the more you learn, the more how you start to learn, the more master classes you're a part of actually make you feel worse. It's like, you know what? Now I'm even more confused. Now I don't even know how to create content from my mind or from my heart because I'm all in my head and I'm caught up on all of these one-on-one steps. Sometimes it's about filtering all of that away. It's about putting the strainer back on your mind and on your heart so you can filter your message into something that's really potent and it's really strong. Because high ticket clients, they're buying into your message. They're buying into your energy and they're buying into your leadership. This is the work. This is what gets you to the consistent 10K, 20K, and 100K months. It's embodiment and it's on leading the way so clients can follow you. That's it. That's the real talk about this. No high-level client really gives a shit about the landing page. No high-level client really cares on what the call to action says. They just need to see you enough consistently living your best life to say, I have to make a decision. Am I going to hire this person? And that's what this is. So stop focusing on the how, start focusing on the who. When you start making that adjustment inside of your business, you're going to see a fundamental change in who you become and what changes for you. That's all for this episode, guys. Thanks for watching. Leave a message in the comments. Let me know what who is coming up for you or where you feel you're getting stuck in the process of who. And like always, if you need help with this, this is what coaching and mentorship is for. Just go to www.growmycoaching.com and apply for the CDC program. This is where I work one-on-one with coaches and help you unpack the who so you can show up as the best level of the person you can be. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you later.